I'm very grateful to people that have put a lot of work in to the same sort of venture of understanding this haplogroup story, especially the DeVere family and Iona Miller for these charts, reaching the similar conclusions as I had along the way. So I hope they don't mind me using them to show that the families of the Scythian dragons are Q1b and R1b, the culmination of the lineages that give their allegiance, their ancestry to the Anunnaki of Dode, Enid and Nephilim. We're told some were alien, extra-dimensionals, or fallen angels. Either way, they've come through a process of mixing and giving rise to empires and lineages that have taken hold of the world as we know it. But as I've been trying to show, there is the remnants of the purer line, quite possibly the lineage of Noah, who was taken away to re-enter Scandinavia as the I1s. The tall blondes with blue eyes, possessing superior knowledge, whose genes, they say, do not resemble other haplogroups. It has been shown that red hair came into Norway after the blondes. So the gene for red hair in R1bs is from Neanderthal origin. What is likely is that a new male haplogroup in Central Asia bred with local Neanderthal females. Their daughters seem to be the mitochondrial U. As we see, mitochondrial U2 coming before the Ice Age from Bashkir and the Caucasus. Ashkenazis are known to have more red hair than the general population, and would have transferred the gene to Scotland and Ireland with R1b males from Israel, and later to Norway. On the Y haplogroup tree, done in 2013, we see that it has an extensive array of R1bs, but there's no S and T coming after it. Yet T was also seen to mix with early Africans and Aboriginals of the Bs and Cs. Yet not all charts place it with the F males of the FGHI group. Once again on this tree, it finishes at R1b, and yet in the second study by the Chromosome Consortium, there was two lineages after R called S and T, and this extensive graphic chart goes into their existence as well, coming after the PQR group, and they are all linked with Ks. They're all linked with different Ks, all of these ongoing groups, as we saw NO, QR and T. And now the superclade M, who as we saw became the Rs, all linked with K. And this is the point which I now wish to make, that K has left their mark throughout the whole latter group that are in control of the world, have remnants of the lineage of K, the Qs and Rs, as well as the Chinese and Russians. So Cain and Abel and Seth. Cain, after killing Abel off, was banished to the east. We saw that K became Q going to the Americas, and the NO line went to China. And Seth is the only one left, according to the biblical story. But as I've tried to demonstrate, the line of Seth probably encompasses 3 or 4 different hybrid patriarchal lineages from the previous era, haplogroups G, J and T. T being Shem, who was said to dwell in the tents of others, J being Japheth, becomes the Roman Empire, and G the demigods, hidden behind both, Zeus, Poseidon and Hades. With their mothers, the mitochondrial EVs, Cleopatra, Sheba, and Helen, with O negative blood, who bred with the natives everywhere they went to create a better workforce, and coming back as the Q1Bs and R1Bs, with T hidden in both, to complete their comeback since the last reset. Another interesting side story is that Cleopatra's daughter, being a white princess bloodline, was called Selene, which means Helen, and Moon. She was taken to Rome and had a daughter, probably to her father, called Drusilla, also known as Livia, the first self-appointed empress of Rome. So in my opinion, the hybrids of the royal line and the line of Cain and the white queens of Atlantis, and we see them by the trail they've left, the symbology, the serpent, the eagle, the harp of David, the dragons, the dragon dynasties, the titans. But maybe there's one line that wasn't tainted. Maybe I got away. And here they are, the eyes. They came in, obviously, from the sea. And the female eyes, mitochondrial eye, appeared to be associated but not quite exactly in the same places. Female eyes were bred into the original Ns. You may remember N1 first changed to the Ns outside of Africa, and we also saw haplogroup H come up to these areas with male I1 that came up from Sardinia came up with female H, mitochondrial H. So we have HI females and I1 males, predominantly having blue eyes. But here over in Bashkir we see an R1B that is predominantly in this area also had red hair. So I feel that the red hair gene, which came in also into northern European areas, probably came in from the sea but later as one of the R1Bs. So I contend that because we have the remnants of I remaining, they went away and hid up in the Iceland area and came back as I1s. And I don't think they have the lineage of the KT. Possibly the only haplogroup that is not tainted with the line of Cain. Except, of course, through intermarrying with the Cain mitochondrial lineages of females, which would include some of the mitochondrial R European group of women who have A blood, and most of the mitochondrial M group of Asians, the B bloods. But only the group of mitochondrial EV and probably some of the early mitochondrial H females that went north with EV ancestry had O negative blood and spread that to some A's and B's of the elite families. So male and female haplogroup I's would probably have had A blood, fair skin and blue eyes, and many of whom would be Rh negative. And as the only remnants of Abel, and as the only true descendants of Noah, perhaps they should rule